Welcome back to the ITV News. The Queen has been rounding off her 3-day visit to Jamaica with a trip to the tourist resort of Montego Bay. The sun shone, the crowd sang, everything went according to plan. Unlike last night, when the lights went out on what was supposed to be a glittering banquet. From Jamaica, here's Tom Bradby.
On a windy morning, the Queen arrived in Montego Bay to the sound of a group of children singing one of Jamaica's most famous songs. After 2 days in the capital, the Queen's final journey in Jamaica has been into the country's relaxed tourist heart. Montego Bay is a small colonial town next to the Caribbean Sea. The Queen leaves for New Zealand tonight, but she thanked Jamaicans for their welcome.
It has been a memorably enjoyable and happy visit, and we both leave with our deep affection for this island and its people renewed and reinvigorated.
Not everything has gone smoothly. The state banquet encountered a very Jamaican problem. Power cuts are frequent here, and candles were brought out to allow the Queen to make her entrance, illuminated by the television floodlights. She didn't appear to mind. The Queen's trip here couldn't really have begun in worse circumstances. She certainly looks like she's enjoyed herself, but then her surroundings have been colourful and relaxing, to say the least. Tom Bradby, ITV News, Montego Bay, Jamaica.
Our best medal hope at the Winter Olympics, bobslayer Alex Coomber, ended up with a bronze today in her skeleton event. It was Britain's first medal of the Games. Here's Felicity Barr.
She admits it was the most nerve-wracking moment of her life, but Alex Coomber had plenty of support as she set off on her final run. The flight lieutenant likens hurtling down the bobsleigh track to doing 80 miles an hour on a motorway while strapped to a skateboard. And the pressure on Coomber to win Britain's first medal of these games has been immense. Having won the Skeleton World Cup series, she was favourite to claim the Olympic title. At her training centre in Bath, anxious friends and colleagues were glued to the television as the 27-year-old approached the final bend. It was a much faster time than her first run, and the British team celebrated knowing she was now certain to get a medal, which turned out to be bronze. Delight and relief in Salt Lake City and back in Bath.
I think it's absolutely brilliant. I think she did really well. She'll be delighted. She didn't do anything wrong, and to come home with a bronze is marvellous, and she deserves it. She's worked really hard this season, and I think it's fantastic. And well done, Alex.
And Coomber's bronze could be followed by a gold for the curling team. Britain's women are already guaranteed silver after beating the favourites Canada to book their place in tomorrow's final. Felicity Barr, ITV News.
Football, and it was a frustrating night for Liverpool in the Champions League as they drew 0-0 with Turkish side Galatasaray. This shot from Emil Heskey was one of what felt like dozens of Liverpool near misses. To make matters worse, England midfielder Steven Gerrard was taken off with a groin injury. And you can see more of Liverpool's match and Manchester United's game against Nantes in the big match here on ITV1 at the end of this programme. In a few moments, who got what at the Brits? Pop music's big night out. That's after the news from your area.
Hello, I'm Suzanne Page. Now the latest from Central News. A crack cocaine addict has been given 26 life sentences for murdering 2 pensioners and robbing 24 others. His own father has described him as an evil person. Keith Wilkinson reports.
Andrew Aston, police described him as a brutal coward who targeted the old and the vulnerable. He killed George Dale, aged 87, from Ladywood in Birmingham, an anti-aircraft bombardier in Malta during World War II. Another murder victim, 80-year-old Frank Hobley from Stetchford in Birmingham, a veteran who saw action at Dunkirk, Burma and India. Aston brought terror to many elderly people, robbing and attacking them. The list of charges he faced is long. 28 men and women in their 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s. Today, Aston was found guilty of all but 2 of the charges and got an amazing 26 life sentences.
Everything's been achieved that we all wanted to be achieved. We put a violent criminal away. He's an evil person. I know people might find it hard because I'm his father, but I'm also a man of principles as well.
The judge said he was satisfied that Aston had targeted his victims, they were at his mercy, and he'd shown them none. He said the robberies were to feed a craving for an evil drug. He was a dangerous man, and he was likely to remain so for an indeterminate time. Keith Wilkinson, Central News.
It's emerged a private jet has careered onto a grass verge as it tried to take off from Coventry Airport in high winds and rain. The executive plane skidded from the runway at about 3 o'clock this afternoon. No one is believed to have been hurt. All arrivals to the airport have since been diverted. A Muslim cleric charged with encouraging people to carry out murder is thought to have had recent links with Tipton. Sheikh Abdullah Al-Faisal is said to have given a lecture in the Black Country town last October. He was arrested near his home in East London by anti-terrorist squad officers. He's charged under the Offences Against the Persons Act. 3 people have been charged with drug-related offences after a series of raids across the Midlands. A total of 23 people were arrested in Operation Yeoman in the early hours of yesterday morning. 15 are still in custody at police stations across Worcestershire. Another 5 people have been bailed pending further inquiries. People in most parts of the Midlands are living longer, according to government figures out today. We've got 2 reports. In a moment, we'll hear from our reporter, Mark Goff, who's in a town where men are living longest. But first, Joel Hills has been in Wolverhampton, one of very few places where life expectancy is falling.
On the whole, it's not been a bad 12 months for Wolverhampton. It's been enjoying its recently acquired city status, and here at Molineux, they're talking about promotion seriously for the first time in years. But while the Wolves appear to be on the up, for the majority of their fans, life expectancy is falling. The fact is, a man in Wolverhampton can expect to live on average to just over 73 years old. That's not bad, but a good 2 years less than the national average of 75.
Life expectancy is an indicator of health and well-being. That is predicted by a number of factors, especially employment, especially educational attainment, and we in Wolverhampton have suffered dramatically over the last 2 generations.
Life expectancy for men in Wolverhampton is falling. What do you think about that?
It's falling. I had no idea at all. No. Couldn't begin to suggest why.
Everybody's eating too much junk these days, really.
What do you think about that?
I better get around quick before I die then.
Now, if you live in Solihull, one of the more well-off areas in the Midlands, chances are you're going to be healthier, you're going to have better teeth, and you're going to live longer, up to 82 if you're a woman, and 76 if you're a man.
That's according to new government figures about the state of our health. Solihull is one of the healthiest places to live. So, what's the secret?
Well, in south of Solihull, we tend to have a population who actually take care of their health. So they look at their diet, they look at any symptoms that they're getting, and they'll present to their doctors much earlier so that we can actually intervene before any particular problems set in.
People have also got good teeth. That's because there are more NHS dentists here than in many parts of the country. But it's not all good news in Solihull. Those living in the north of the borough, in places like Chelmsley Wood, aren't as healthy.
We have 4 boroughs that are amongst the most deprived in the country, let alone the West Midlands, and they have traditionally eat more red meat. They're more traditional in their working roles. There's higher unemployment. There's less money around.
So if you want to live longer and healthier, perhaps it's time to move to Solihull. Mark Goff, Central News.
Pupils at a Black Country school are having lessons in temporary classrooms. The buildings in Bloxwich near Walsall is made entirely out of portable cabins. It's home for 500 pupils at T.P. Riley Community School for the next year, while a £12 million academy is being built on the site of their old school. To football now, and Wolves are 3 points clear at the top of Nationwide Division 1 tonight after winning away at Crewe Alexandra 4-1. All the goals came in the second half. Nathan Blake netted twice for Wolves. Also on the score sheet were Alex Ray and Mark Kennedy. Well, that's all from the late team. The next bulletin from Central News is just after 6:30 tomorrow morning. Now there we'll go back to Katie Derham, who's in the ITV News studio in London. Good night.
Hello again. Kylie Minogue and Dido were the big winners at the Brit Awards tonight. They got 2 each. Robbie Williams got 1, though he didn't show up. The big losers this year, though, were the cartoon band Gorillaz. They had 6 nominations, but won nothing. Nina Nana was there.
The show started in spectacular fashion with a track from the most nominated band of the night, Gorillaz, the cartoon creation of Blur's frontman Damon Albarn. They were to lose out in all their 6 categories. Kylie Minogue, one of pop's great survivors, arrived full of hope. She had 4 nominations.
I'm thrilled to be here. I'm really proud that I get to perform and share this night that's celebrating the British music industry.
She picked up 2 prestigious Brits, including Best International Female Artist. No one doubted Dido would come away a winner. Tonight, the artist who sold 12 million records in the past year also got 2 Brits, including Best Album.
It's great, you know, I think it's nice. I'm home, do you know what I mean? It's the most important award ceremony there is to me.
It's become the most important award ceremony for the industry. Hosted by Zoe Ball and Frank Skinner, the winners are mostly chosen by the industry itself.
And so, in keeping with the Brits' tradition of nominating one artist for many awards and then giving them nothing, Gorillaz, the big losers of the night. The winners, of course, Dido, and the industry's favourite pop princess, Kylie Minogue.
I will talk.
Current holder of 12 Brits, Robbie Williams added another one tonight, but sent a pre-recorded video thank you message. The winners who did turn up, though, will be celebrating long into the early hours. Nina Nana, ITV News.
And you can see the Brit Awards in full tomorrow night here on ITV1 at 8 o'clock. Tonight's headlines: police have begun a murder inquiry after the badly burned body of a schoolboy was found in a North London park. He'd been beaten about the head. And a fire on a train in Egypt has killed more than 370 passengers. And that's tonight's ITV News. From me and all the team here, goodbye.
Watch my favourite part again.
Power Gen. Energy for you and your little monsters, come rain or shine.
Hello again. Largely dry tonight for much of the UK, although 1 or 2 showers just really clipping the coast of Yorkshire down towards East Anglia. A very cold night ahead of us tonight. Some parts in Scotland getting down to -4. And later on during the night, more rain and clouds sweeping its way in towards the west. Tomorrow morning, a good dry start for much of the UK, but there's still that rain and that cloud in the west. Now that's going to spread right across the UK. Snow on its more northern edge across northern Britain, but eventually turning back into rain. Very chilly with that as well. Only getting up to around highs of 6, that's 43, 9 possibly in the far south, and windy. So here's a reminder of tomorrow. Check out the website. You could win yourself a holiday to the Caribbean. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.
Power Gen. Energy for you and your little monsters, come rain or shine.
Dream or duty? How would you like to earn yourself a big, fat bonus?
Fact or fiction?
Nothing happened between you.
Like what?
You know what I mean.
Friend or foe?
You don't know anything about this.
I know about you. Conscience or consequence?
You told me she left at 3. Why? What was I supposed to do? You were supposed to tell me the truth!
The Vice. New series, Monday at 9, ITV1.
Football, and we've highlights from tonight's matches in the UEFA Champions League coming up next.